session of Founders Under Crypto Spotlight. The markets have been booming right now. It's amazing time for us, for all of us to be in crypto. It's lovely to see how the looking at the Bitcoin going up, crossing 93 USD, and with that we see a lot of new energy. A lot of our friends were sitting on the periphery, wanting to again come into exploring crypto and seeing what's happening here. Along with that, we see the U.S. government, looking at it and being going all bullish there. And for that, today we start with our crypto series, with our founder under crypto spotlight series again. And today we have a very interesting startup, which is talking about options trading and helping you to get started in the option space, which is a very complicated domain for a lot of traders who have not intervened into the world of options yet. And for that, we have our founder today, Akshay Patel, who's been in this space for a long time, has been trading in options for last 5 years. And the moderator for today is a very fun-loving person, a dear friend of mine, Tushar. So I will bring them to on our screen now. Welcome, Tushar. And we have our founder, Akshay, here. Thank you guys for joining in.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
thanks for hosting us, Manav.
All
yeah.
right.
Manav gave a good intro. Now it's up to us.
All
Let's
right,
go.
yes. Over to you, Tushar and Akshay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Manav, for the great intro. Hi, everyone. Hi, Akshay. Akshay, how are you doing? How
I'm
have
doing
been your
good.
day?
How are you? How are you, Tushar?
I'm also doing great. Have not ate anything since morning, but
Oh,
been
really?
on back-to-back calls. Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah, I kind of pushed dinner as well because I was like, I need to have this conversation. I don't know, feel
Let's
sleepy.
go, man. And by the way, as a founder, you should. I'm assuming like on every single day, you are just sitting on calls back to back with product team, marketing team, sales team, partnerships, BD, investors,
Yeah,
angels, and so on and so
that's
forth.
kind of what my life has become these days. Like, when we spent the last couple of years building, and so it was a very quiet and isolating kind of environment. And now, once we're in testnet, it's like, yeah, it's just back to back. Just wake up in the morning, start hustling. It just goes on and on. Like, it's like you spend sleepless nights wondering about what's coming next. I think I might have bitten off more than we can chew, but it's something that we're definitely looking forward to the challenge as well. Uh, but yeah,
Nice, man. Good stuff. And like currently, so I guess the whole market is also booming with the whole bull run vibe. Everyone is just bulling like BTC crossing 90K. Everyone went crazy. Everyone is
yeah.
expecting it to cross 100K. What do
I
you think?
think I think people were not bullish enough. I feel like I was definitely not bullish enough. I wish I had more Bitcoin. I mean, who doesn't, right?
Everyone had the same freaking thought. We have to buy more Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin, and I think I don't know, man. I think Ether's been lagging. We hope, I'm also a holder of ETH, and so I think hopefully Ether will catch up. It's been losing against the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin ETH ratio has been going down, but I think I'm hopeful, that ETH will catch up with the rally. It did have a spectacular rally, but then it's kind of gone back down again. Things go up
Damn.
and down. That's what the markets are for, right?
Yeah, and again, the whole bull run came while DevCon was happening, and
Yeah.
I decided to not go to DevCon this year for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I did not went because I had family functions and like marriage
Oh,
of my friends. I'm like, okay, I can't miss that. Otherwise, my friend will come and kill me. I'm like, I have to be there in the marriage.
true,
Uh,
true.
are you at DevCon right now? You are at your home.
No, we're based out of Bangalore, so I'm in my home office over here.
Okay, and you did not went to DevCon because
Well, I kind of missed it, man. It was kind of off my radar. I had like a bunch of things going on, and but next year for sure, and we'll be obviously attending a whole bunch of other events going
yes,
forward.
that's for sure. But yes, without wasting time,
Lovely
let's
stuff.
yeah, without wasting time, let's get into it. Quickly starting with your background, Akshay. To start with, who is Akshay Patel? Where do
Okay,
you come from? Where are you currently? What's your experience? Why are you building this? Let's start from the beginning.
sure. So I'm from Bangalore. I was born, raised over here. I got into software as most people in Bangalore do, right? And then essentially, we've been in the Web 2.0 space for the last 14, 15 years, building like a lot of traditional e-commerce applications, mobile applications, marketplaces. And so we kind of specialize in the market space, essentially, in the Web 2.0 space. And then, I'd originally heard of Bitcoin. One of my friends had told me about this in 2017, but then back then I was a huge skeptic of the whole space, and obviously it went up to 20K and crashed, and so I thought that I was a genius for not buying Bitcoin. Obviously I'm not, but and so I thought it was a scam for the longest time. And then what really triggered a change in my mind was when Uniswap came out in 2020. Like, there was Uniswap V2 which came out. I obviously missed Uniswap V1, but V2 when it came out, I was just extremely impressed with the way a decentralized exchange can run without intermediaries. And so it was completely non-custodial, which was again a mind opener. It's like, how can that happen? Because you put your money in a bank, you put your money in a stock exchange. It's like someone else is always holding it. Like, even your shares which you think you own are actually held by NSDL, but that's not the case over here. And so that changed something in my thinking. And so and I've also been trading options in the stock market for a few years prior to that. And so back when this was all very new, which was just a few years ago. I mean, things in crypto, like, they move fast, right? I was like, we should do something on the options in the DeFi space. And so we started building. I started learning how to build Solidity smart contracts, and then I realized that there's like a completely different set of technical challenges associated with this. You can't run any SQL commands. It's like you have to write your own data structures. All algorithms have to be re-implemented mostly from scratch. There's no strings you can deal with. There are no decimal places. It's all like integer numbers. It's like just completely new paradigm of programming. And so we learned, and that's what's taken us a bunch of effort. And I think as the first project, I also probably chose to do options primarily because I love trading options. But otherwise, if someone else is starting their first project in Solidity, I would say don't do options. It's something that's much simpler.
Okay, but yeah, Akshay, like, just a quick question. Why do you love options the most? Because when it comes to derivatives, there are many other things that people can do and people do. So, like, what like attracts you towards options?
So, options are one of those things which you kind of need to like wrap your head around before you truly appreciate, what it's capable of. So the most important property of an options contract, which everyone talks about, is that you have a limited amount of risk and an unlimited amount of profit. Okay. So that's what you get when you buy a call option, for example. So let's say you were, a smart guy and you bought a Bitcoin 70,000 call option right before Trump's elections, and then when you might have paid maybe $1,000 for that. Let's say you wanted to buy a whole Bitcoin, you would have to put up $70,000. Whereas if you buy an option for just $1,000 contract, you get all of the upside from 70,000 all the way to 90,000 without taking more than ₹1,000 risk, or $1,000 risk in this case, because that's the price that you pay for the option, and then the buyer of the option can't lose more than that much. But that's the mainstream view. What I really enjoy about options is being able to sell them, being on the other side of that trade. So the reason why I actually prefer selling options, and a lot of professionals especially are primarily option sellers, is because it provides income, and it provides a pretty good income compared to like your standard interest rates, or if you were just going for a standard futures arbitrage and those kinds of things. You can get many multiples of that, and primarily because options contracts contain a volatility pricing factor. And so we can get into a lot more technical details, but what I really love about options or trading options compared to trading the underlying is that if you buy an option, you get unlimited upside risk with unlimited upside potential with limited downside risk. And when you sell the option, you get phenomenal yield on that, which you can't get anywhere else, except maybe like meme coin LP for a few days when it's pumping and dumping. But then it's not a sustainable business. Options are a sustainable way of earning a yield on your assets.
Very interesting point of view. And as you mentioned, like from a mainstream media view, option call is like way more preferred instead of, let's say, selling options.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, very interesting. And that's how you got into building Optswap, or there
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
like.
So one of the problems which I faced as an option seller
Hmm.
in the DeFi space was that a lot of the existing protocols which were there were allowing you to only buy options, and so certain platforms would allow you to be able to go and buy the option from a pool, or if you wanted to sell options, then you couldn't sell a specific option. You had to put your money into the pool, and then it's the buyers who decide which option you're going to be selling. And so that's got obviously its advantages because it's more gas efficient. It's got certain benefits in terms of pool liquidity. Also solves a lot of liquidity related issues. When you're bootstrapping, but I wanted to have a more traditional approach to trading options on chain. And when we started this, I wasn't even sure whether we could do it. But over a period of time, as we started building this, I became more and more convinced that this is a right approach. And so we built like an on-chain order book as well as an automated market maker. And now we're also focusing on having off-chain orders coming through. So there's like multiple ways in which the options essentially can be traded on chain. And as a seller of the option, you have the ability to choose your strike, choose your expiry, and also choose the premium at which you sell the option on our platform. And so that's one of the founding goals of Optswap, was to make it a really seamless experience for option sellers. But also, if you're an option buyer, you can come in and trade, and you get all the benefits of trading options.
Okay, so technically everything started with you unable to find a good product as an option seller, and they were like, okay, if it don't exist, let me build it, and that's how you got into it.
That's pretty much it, because I've been a builder pretty much all my life. I love building software. I've been writing software since I was in school, and so this was just a natural thing. It's like, and it's also brand new to me back then, and I changed my religion from being a non-crypto guy to being a crypto guy. So it's like I believed in the gospel of Bitcoin and Ether and like decentralization and all of those things.
Yeah.
That's what Uniswap basically changed in my head. It was like I had a fundamental shift in my thinking, and so I was like, what, we have to build this. And it's been a massive technical challenge. There's still more massive technical challenges for us to resolve. But it was like a couple of months back, we were like, what, we have to finally launch this on testnet. Get it out there, get people's feedback. Try and understand what's the space really looking for. And so that's kind of where we are in this moment. We are kind of reaching out to the community to try and gauge the user interest, the user feedback, while at the same time we've been looking for like a strategic angel who would be maybe a market maker who would be interested in investing with us, because there's like a lot of liquidity issues that we need to solve before we hit mainnet. And there's also certain technical challenges related to like the optimization, but also the certain UI features that we need to kind of simplify to appeal to a wider audience. If you look at the current UI that we have, it's more appealing to the traditional options trader, which I
Hmm.
think it's a little difficult for a native crypto trader to come in and essentially trade. So there's like a lot of additional building that we have to do, but we have a very good platform and a very good base protocol to be able to build upon. And so that's gives me confidence that we can basically replicate as well as surpass a lot of existing protocols out there. And we want to bring the centralized trading experience to the to the DeFi world of options.
Yeah, and I mean, I can completely understand because when you talk about building product, that's always the process. There will be hundreds of changes coming throughout the years once the product is live and so on and so forth. And this is something that I have personally also realized. If we talk about the mainstream dApps in the Web3 space that are there, they are
Mhm.
simple dApps, and that's
That's
good. But when we talk about like very institutional grade dApps, there are very less in the market as of
true.
now.
Yeah.
And I guess when we talk about Optswap, what you guys are building, that comes technically under the category of that institutional level depth that professionals, experts, someone who is deep into options trading will prefer to use
Yep.
over a simple options trading platform that already exists in the Web3 platform.
Yep.
Something on the similar lines. That's what I understand.
That's true. Yeah, we want to try and bring the options traders into the crypto world and say that this is another asset class that you can trade options on. You can run your non-directional strategies. You can run your income generating strategies. You can run your unlimited gain strategies. Whatever whichever approach you have to options, this becomes another underlying asset that you trade. That's for the options, traditional options guys. And for the
Yeah.
crypto crowd, we have to kind of educate them about the benefits of options. How can they use options? How does an ETH holder or a Bitcoin holder actually utilize options? That's something that we have to educate the crypto crowd about, and that's something that we're definitely committed to doing.
Yeah. Also, like a quick question. Like, I'm assuming, as you mentioned, that you have been doing options trading for a long time, around 5, 6 years, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, a little bit more than that. Like,
Eight
before that it
years.
was, yeah, before that it was more very haphazard. Like it was just like, oh, great, we have something that we can sell an option against. But more systematically over the past 3 4 years.
Okay, yeah. Quick question. I'm assuming you also have other friends who actively do options trading who are like proper options trader.
Yeah, but it's like it's more like on the more of the online community. We do
Hmm.
have like a little bit of a group off chain that we kind of
Yeah.
trade options with,
Yeah.
but like it's a little bit more difficult game compared to the futures and the spot market.
Of
So,
course. I mean, completely understandable. Like, my question was mainly on the side of, so again, I have a lot of friends who are, let's say, into futures and options, and
mhm,
time to time, I just randomly ask them, bro, why don't you do the same thing in crypto? What is stopping you and all? So, like, have
mhm,
you ever asked your like proper online options trader friends, like,
mhm.
guys, why don't you do full-fledged options trading in crypto? What is stopping you? Have you ever asked that? And if yes, then what did they answer?
Well, I haven't necessarily asked them that question. It's a good question. I should probably go and ask them that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's a lot of hesitancy towards the crypto space in the traditional finance world. The majority of the options trading that takes place happens in the traditional markets. And so there's very deep liquidity available for traditional options traders. And so they don't necessarily find that crypto options are something that they necessarily trust at the moment,
Hmm.
or maybe they find the centralized exchanges a little bit shady, and so they're not necessarily willing to deploy all of that capital. So the way we approach this problem is our systems are exactly like Uniswap. We want to kind of brand ourselves as the Uniswap for options, right? So we are
Okay.
entirely non-custodial and permissionless in the sense that we never have custody over any of the users' funds. And that's how the whole protocol has been built from the ground up. We believe that that's what adds trust into the system. That's what allows, like a Uniswap, for example, to function in a completely non-custodial manner. And so that's something which does not necessarily exist currently. There are a bunch of L2s which are trying to do this, but then you have different stages of L2s as well. And so that's more of a technical side. We can get into that, but I think one of the primary targets that we also have is the existing crypto trader. Like existing crypto traders do not necessarily understand the benefits and the best implementation of option strategies into their existing portfolio. So the idea is not that you trade options in and of themselves. You have an existing portfolio, like you already own Bitcoin, you already own Ether, right? So you should be in a position to earn an additional yield out of that, and that's something which I can demonstrate during this quick conversation as well. Like what are the kinds of yields that options traders are really capable of generating,
Yeah.
compared to, let's say, just staking ETH. That's something that we can get into.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. The moment you mention yield, I'm like, okay, I want to earn more yield. Like, let me make more yield. So, I
Who
mean, if you
doesn't,
can,
right?
yeah, I mean, if you can share the screen, showcase the platform, and at the same time tell me how I can make more yield, I'll be super
Okay,
happy. I'll be the
absolutely.
happiest guy in the world.
Okay, awesome. So just give me a sec. I'll just figure out how to share my screen over here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Oh, by the way, hi, Big Israel, bullish on Optswap. Let's freaking go. Hi, Kalpana. Hi. And now we have screen. We have Optswap. Let's go. Like the moment I see the screen, I can confidently say it's some trader guy's screen. Like this looks like the screen of a trader guy.
True. So what you're looking at is the options chain, as we call it in the the traditional world. Uh,
Hmm.
on the top left, you have a bunch of different assets that you can choose to trade options on. Now, since Bitcoin seems to be booming, let's just go in for like, oh well, Bitcoin seems to be back down over the past hour since we probably started
Damn.
talking.
93 to
So
88. Okay, let's go.
so let's say you're into this option space, and you're looking to sell a call option. So let's say you already own Bitcoin. You bought Bitcoin, let's say at 70,000 before the
Hmm.
breakout, and now it's at 80,000 or 87,000, and you think that it may not reach 95,000 by 29th of November.
Hmm.
Now, just to get a little bit more into the technical side of things, like every options contract has got what's called as a strike price and what's called as an expiry date. And
Hmm.
so the option is valid only until the particular date that the expiry is on. And there are certain restrictions. If, for example, you're selling a call option, unless the price of Bitcoin goes above 95,000, this particular option will basically become zero by 29th of November. Um, so we have a certain onboarding process that we're trying to get users into as well. And since I basically have an empty wallet with me over here, let me go ahead and just connect my wallet.
Okay. Let's see the onboarding process. I hope it's fun.
Yeah. So we've got a little quest over here. So to try and get crypto traders into the option space, we wanted to try and gamify the approach a little bit, and give them a certain incentive to be able to learn how to trade these options. And so once you've kind of connected your wallet and come to the quest section of our website, you can begin your journey. And so there are a couple of quick transactions that you need to do to confirm your registration. And so that way, we have a certain airdrop incentive that we're going. So every time you complete one of the achievement, you
That
basically
sound
get a number
effect.
of points. You get a certain number of points, and then based on that, you the more points you collect, the higher your eligibility is for the airdrop. And so, one thing you probably don't see on the screen is all the MetaMask transactions, which I'm
Yeah, but that's
signing.
fine.
But essentially, we have to kind of have that we collect from the faucet before we can start trading, because this is a testnet application, and you can see right here it's like there's no actual monetary value. So you
Yeah.
can almost consider this as like a options simulator. It's like a game that you're playing,
Yeah.
which allows you to kind of learn how to trade options without obviously putting in any real money. So this is the first level of the quest, where
Hmm.
you kind of just come in, register your participation, and once you claim your tokens, we send you a bunch of these tokens. These are now existing in your wallet, and then you go to the next level. Let's say we decide to go ahead and sell Bitcoin options. Well, this is a quest. It requires you to go in a certain order, but right before this, since we were talking about Bitcoin, let's try and actually unlock this particular achievement. It doesn't have to be in order. So let's say we're interested in selling options, right? And so because we want a high yield, so let's say we go ahead and sell this Bitcoin option over here. So let's go back to trade, Let's go to Bitcoin USDC. And now since we see that Bitcoin is actually going down, and I don't believe that, I mean, this is just me trading as a mock trader. I don't have any, this is not financial advice, guys. I don't have any opinion on the actual price of Bitcoin. I'm just giving you a simple scenario. Let's say
Yeah.
you believe that Bitcoin is not going to go above 95,000 before 29th of November. This is what this is the kind of base thinking that you use while deciding which options to sell. Now, should I go ahead and sell this option? What's my yield on this? So you can see that we have a buyer over here who's willing to pay $1053 for this 95,000 option. Now, if you do the math over there, it's more than 1%. It's almost 1.1 or 1.2% of the contract value of 95. Like $1,000 is almost, more than 1% of 95,000. But you can see that you're going to get that yield in the next 2 weeks. And so your monthly yield is actually, you're getting a 1% yield in 2 weeks. If you annualize that, that's like 24% annualized. And so like there's almost no liquidity pool on in DeFi, which gives you 25% APR on Bitcoin USDC. At least not for a sustainable period of time. There may be certain amounts of periods of time, where you're getting this rate, but then it quickly dies down. But whereas with options, since we're selling volatility over here, you can almost be assured that there's always a market. And so what we're doing now is, this is the trade model. So we decided to go ahead and sell the option, right? And so when you're selling the option, this is the premium that you receive. Now, we're selling only 0.1 Bitcoin because that's what the lot size is. If I wanted to sell 10 lots of this, then I would need a whole Bitcoin in my wallet. But in this case, we're only interested in selling one particular Bitcoin in this case. So let's go ahead. Oops, give me a sec. Insufficient MAD account expenditure. Okay, I think I need to go ahead and approve this. So I'm approving the.
Okay, we have approved WBTC. Let's go.
Yeah, we're
And now
approved
we can sell.
WBTC, and then I'm going ahead and I'm going to sell this for 1050. So there's a bid at 1055, which I should hit.
Yeah.
But just in case we don't, I'm going to try and. There you go.
Let's
So
go. Someone
you
bought
are,
it.
now, you are now the proud owner of a short position on Bitcoin.
Yes. Let's go. And I can
And
see my positions here in the positions tab. Okay.
yep, when you go into the positions tab, you see the amount of lots that you're short. You can access your funds directly from the funds container over here. We have my funds, and so you can see that you have a balance of $105 because we sold 0.1 Bitcoin worth of options, and so these are the premiums which I've earned. So the thing about the beauty about an options contract is that the premium is paid upfront from the buyer to the seller, and so you get the entire yield upfront. Now, you still had to put in 0.1 Bitcoin to be able to sell that options contract. That's called as the margin. And that's basically held in the smart contract until the 29th of November. Mm-hmm. And then on the 29th of November, if the price of Bitcoin is less than 95,000, then you basically get to keep that entire premium, which, by the way, you can withdraw that from the DEX right now because it doesn't have to be on the DEX. And so you should be able to have access to that and do whatever you want with it right now. Now, if you wanted to exit this, you would have to go back into the market and buy back that position. But since we're kind of semi-bearish on Bitcoin at this point, there's kind of no point in me trying to buy it back. I'm just happy to wait. If Bitcoin goes to 95K, great. I'm going to sell it at 95K. If it doesn't go until 95K, then hey, you know what? I at least made $105, which is like a 24% annualized. And so I can keep doing this month after month. It's like, this is the game. This is the options game. And this is what I love doing. Of course, if you were bearish, if you're even more bearish, you could go ahead and buy a put option.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of things that you can do using options. And just wanted to give a quick demo of the user interface that we have.
No,
Well,
very interesting. That was very easy. You just click, you approve, you sell. Let's go.
yeah, and essentially the idea being that this is a completely non-custodial and permissionless system. So
Uh-huh.
anyone can come in, they can buy and sell any option that they choose. If they don't see a market, they can become the market. And so
Wow.
that's one of the things that we wanted to build in as well, as part of being a fair and open marketplace. We wanted to have the ability for anyone. Let's say now, let's say you also had some ether with you, and you wanted to sell this call option for. You can see that there's a seller at 129, but you want to try and undercut them. So you can go ahead and do that. If you go ahead and sell that, you can put in a price of, let's say, 110. And so, right now we don't have enough ether, but if we did, we could go ahead and actually do that. And that's what makes the system a fair marketplace, as opposed to being, a pool against which you can't necessarily compete. And so it becomes a more competitive game.
Very interesting. By the way, in chat, Kalpana is asking, how can I do this quest? Kalpana, which quest you're talking about, if you can let us know in the chat, because there are too many
Oh,
quests
I can
for
answer
almost
that, Kalpana.
everything.
So you should. I'm not sure if I'm able to type in here, but you can go to quest.optswap.org. Um,
Yeah.
can we put in the text over here?
I mean, I also don't have option to type, otherwise I would have wrote only.
Yeah, I'm
But
having
yeah,
some issues.
um,
Manav, if you could maybe post this
yes.
link, that's something that I think would be beneficial for the audience who's willing to go ahead with this.
Yeah.
So the idea of the whole quest being, you collect your tokens, you learn how to trade options, buy options, sell options. So you can see that this particular call option, sell a call option for Bitcoin, we managed to unlock that. And
Uh-huh.
then you can do this. So right now, every time you sell one option, you get 20 points, and up to a maximum of 200 points. So try and maximize, the number of points that you collect. That basically improves your eligibility for the future airdrop.
Damn, let's go. I'm going to do it tonight only. I'm going to complete all the quests tonight in one go.
Well, there's more levels coming up, right? So you can see that we have a bunch of hidden levels. And
Yeah.
so let's see if you guys, if anyone makes it all the way to level 5, a little bit of a surprise for them over there.
Damn. Okay, now you have made me curious of all the extra levels. That's the issue. Now I just want to see, okay, what are these levels? But
Well,
damn,
I
man.
can give you a hint of what they are. So currently, all of the levels that we have are related to the trading aspect of the game.
Yeah.
But the idea being that we want to open up this platform and the protocol and the community to basically being like publicly owned, becomes like a public good essentially. We're going to be launching on mainnet. When we do launch, it's going to be with zero fees, and so the idea being that over a period of time, the whole Optswap protocol decentralizes and becomes like a decentralized autonomous organization. And so we have an entire governance section, which we can get into, but essentially every single aspect of the protocol is controlled through these governance proposals. And so there are certain things like, let's say you're going to add a new oracle, or you want to create a new AMM, or create a different market. So each and every one of these is controlled through our proposal system. We have, so this is kind of going to be participating in the governance is going to be what the higher levels are going to be coming up with.
Okay.
Um,
And like, how do I get the governance power? Like, is it something by holding, let's say, Optswap's token? Is it going to be
Yes. So
something
you
else?
would need to, so we have a vote escrow mechanism, right? It's very
Okay.
similar to Curve DAO. If you guys are familiar with Curve DAO, you
Yeah.
have Curve tokens, and then you vest them for up to 4 years. And then the longer you vest them, the higher your voting power. And so you get voting power by vesting your tokens in the smart contract. And then only vote escrow token holders, it's called a V token, VE token, are allowed to participate in the governance protocol.
Okay, that's something that's interesting, cool. But I guess all these things are like down the line in the pipeline,
Well,
slowly and
we've
steadily.
already built them out. That is, it's not part of the quest. It is
Okay.
it is functional. So if you're
Huh.
truly interested in kind of participating and testing out the governance functions as well,
Yes.
like being able to add new oracles, being able to add new markets, being able to change, let's say, the fees over here. I mean, right now we're in testnet, so we're testing with the fees. When we do launch, it'll be completely zero fees to trade. We also, let's say, we have right now the treasury is empty. It's pretty sad, but you should be able to transfer money through a proposal. So it's like almost like an on-chain company that's running its entire operations on chain, holds its treasuries on chain, and all the trading and all of the business as well is conducted on chain. So we want to completely be on chain. There's no off chain components as such. We are coming up with like an off chain order, like gasless orders. That's more of an advanced feature that we're coming up with. But for now, you can see it's completely on-chain, permissionless, non-custodial. We want to be like true DeFi. We're inspired by the Uniswap, phenomenon. Essentially, it's like
Yeah.
it changed my complete perspective on not just crypto, but also what finance could be. It's decentralized finance. The first time I heard those words, it was like magic to my ears.
Yeah, like true story. Like I also remember, like I also got introduced to Bitcoin and all in 2017, and at that point, I got introduced to Bitcoin through a movie where a hacker was using Bitcoin currency to like get payments on dark web and all. Like that was my introduction to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And my initial thought was, okay, hackers use Bitcoin. That means Bitcoin is illegal. That means I should not use it. That was my introduction to Bitcoin. And then down the line, when I got to know more, when I understood, and then this whole DeFi summer came in 2020, and all
Yeah.
these companies came, and I'm like, bro, what is this going
Yeah.
on?
It
And
was magical, like that period, like the previous cycle. I mean, this cycle is obviously great as well, and I'm not saying anything
yeah,
against
but
it. But the previous
but
cycle, it was like the first time you learn about on-chain trading, spot markets, lending markets, prediction markets, and options markets, perps, futures. It was one of
crazy.
those.
Like you used to execute one transaction, and you used to be like, damn, let's go, transaction is executed on gas fees of $50. I have paid gas fees of $50 on ETH.
Yeah, that's crazy. And these days we have L2s. Back then there were no L2s. We had like the
Yeah.
side chain like Polygon. I remember when Polygon came out, it was a phenomenon. It was like, wow, you have like 1 cent gas. It's like
Bro, I remember my father told me that Tushar, something called Polygon have came into the news. Do you know about it? And I'm like, Polygon? How? Why? And then he told he was watching news. He told like I guess Polygon at that point was helping in the whole COVID era. Through
yeah,
their tokens, and some projects were launched on Polygon in regards to raising funds for COVID patients.
yeah, yeah,
And my father was talking about Polygon. I'm like, bro, what is going on, Polygon? What are you guys doing? But then at
yeah.
that point, I guess we had very less option. But now we have what 100 and 200 L2s or something on
Yeah, with all
Ethereum.
these L2s coming up and the interoperability protocols which are coming up, I think it's there's like a lot of talk in the ethosphere as to whether the L2 roadmap is the right approach. I think over a period of time, L2s are definitely necessary. I think at moment, because ether gas prices are so volatile, especially if you need to get anything done on mainnet, it's kind of cost an arm and it's back. The bull market is back, so people are degenning their way to high gas prices. I think L2s overall are a positive for the Ethereum ecosystem. It's a short-term scaling requirement. I would say there's no way that if ETH has to remain competitive with a lot of the other L1s, which are coming up with phenomenal throughput. I think L2 is definitely the way to scale. But then there's also the beam chain coming up, and over a period of time they're going to have additional scalability into the ETH layer one itself. That's a long-term roadmap. What's going to bridge us between now and there is all of these L2s. I think over a period of time, this it's possible that we may do our own L2, or we may even do our
Yeah,
own L1. Like,
L1
who
or
knows,
like
right?
options chain. That's going to be the name
Options,
of
yeah,
it.
exactly. I mean, it's right now it's all very uncertain. We're
Yeah.
very much in a testnet phase and looking for community engagement, community feedback, letting us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what's needed in the platform. This is the time for us to be able to do that. Like, you understand, smart contracts are completely immutable. You can't, once you're deployed, you can't change things
Yeah.
unless, of course, there's like a proxy format which you can use as well. But there's no second chance. Essentially, you get hacked, the money's gone, right? And so it's
Yeah.
extremely important for us to be able to go through the security audits, 100% code automation testing. And so that's where we're currently in, that's where we're currently headed towards, in terms of making sure that we have our technical audits in place, as well as our automation in place. And then as we go into mainnet, we're going to be building out a lot more simplified user interfaces to be able to get different types of traders. There are so many different types of traders. Like, if you're already a professional options trader, you would find our existing user interface quite intuitive to use. But if you come from, if your basic introduction to trading is like the Uniswap interface, then something like what we have might be a little overwhelming. And so, how do we make that simpler for existing crypto traders to be able to get into trading options, being able to sell those options? And so we have a bunch of things coming up in the future. We'll have a dual invest feature, which uses options on the back end to be able to provide the yield to the users. We'll be having DeFi option vaults, where people can come in and stake their Ether or their USDC and earn those 20-25% yields, which options contracts promise. And it's a sustainable business, because volatility is something which never goes away. Like, the price can go up, price can go down, but I think the whole point of crypto trading is being able to tap into that volatility. And options contracts give you the most capital efficient, as well as the least risky way to be able to tap into that when you're an options buyer. Of course, if you're an
Of
option
course.
seller, then you're going to take on the risk.
That's a different ball game. But yeah, understandable. By the way, are you guys any chain specific product or like a multi chain? How is it
Well,
starting with?
we're currently based on the EVM, and so we are basically in the ethosphere, to be to so to speak, essentially. But Solana, I think Solana is going to be the next target. That's something that we are scoping out and working towards. But our first launch is going to be within the Ethereum world.
Okay, makes sense. And like, let's say, hypothetically speaking, anyone want to get in touch with you, what should they do? Should they drop you a DM on Telegram or
Yeah,
Twitter
absolutely.
or the main
So
project? What's the best way?
So I think, follow us on X. You can find us on at Optswap, OPTSWAP. If you're on Telegram, the group is called Optswap DAO, DAO, OPTSWAP DAO. I think, Manav, if you could post those links up for the audience, that'd be pretty helpful.
Yeah.
And then these are the two best ways to get in touch. Kind of do the quest, give us your feedback. We are very responsive in terms of being listening to the users' feedback and implementing what they're asking us to work on. Yeah, the Twitter as well as Telegram are the best ways for you to get in touch with us.
Perfect. Done. So I'm going to drop you a text on Telegram and Twitter, both
Awesome.
saying, hey, I tried this platform. And guys, you also try the platform and let us know how it is. You guys liked it. If you guys did not like it, why you did not like it, what can be better, what you already liked, and you are like, okay, this is crazy, this is good. Do let us know everything, because I guess this is the stage where community feedback plays the most vital role, and that's why
Absolutely.
community plays the most vital role. So you guys are important for all of us.
Yep.
And Akshay, any final message for the community members before we end it?
Final message. Well, I haven't really thought of anything, but I probably should have. Let's see. We need your support. There's definitely things that we can improve in the platform. This is the time for us to do those things before we hit the mainnet. Is the the opportunity for us to be able to make those changes, to be able to work with the users, implement their feedback, without having a lot of mainnet pressure. And essentially, we are looking for your feedback. We want your help, and we need your support to be able to make this a success. And so, join us. I think the futures of options trading is on chain.
Let's go. That was a great message. And with that, thank you so much, Akshay. Manav, you can come back on the stage. Don't worry, no one will say anything. Uh,
All right, thank you guys. I think it was a lovely session. It was really fun listening to what you guys are doing. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you Tushar for taking our time. And thank you Akshay for sharing about Optswap. Guys, the links have been shared with you for Optswaps. If you are looking to participate in the quest, do click on the quest. Try your hand there. Maybe you get excited about options trading and you start using Optswap for options trading. Otherwise, you can simply enjoy the airdrops that you get at the end of it, and later in future use that to trade in spot market as well. And if you want to have any feedback, their links are there. Please do reach out to them, or you reach out to us, and we'd love to hear your feedback, and we'll pass it on to the Oxford team. Thank you everyone, and have a lovely night and the week ahead. Thank you.